Now, with regards to from the time he was born till the age of about 22, not much is recorded about him. A few things. One is that he went to school, he was very intelligent, he had a very strong memory. He has a very, very strong memory. One of his companions, they say that we used to walk to school and come back from school every day. Once we were passing a gathering and a certain person was giving a khutbah. He was giving a sermon. So we sat down and it was a very, very long sermon. At the end of the sermon, we stood up to walk away, and Abdullah bin Mubarak told his companions, everything this person has said, I know it, I've memorized it. And his companion said, you're having a joke. How can you remember that such a long khutbah? How can you remember it? And Abdullah bin Mubarak, he related word to word the whole khutbah again. This was at such a young age. From there we see how, what a great memory he had. And he also had a great, intense love for study. He had an intense love for study. He used to study so much, his father was a merchant, and obviously he has to help his father. But he always used to look for his books and hide there and read his books there, read his books. Once his father became so angry with him, and his father said to him that if I ever catch you again at the time of work that you're reading books, I'm going to burn all your books. I'm going to burn all your books. So Abdullah bin Mubarak said to him, Dad, that doesn't matter. It's not going to affect me. Everything's in my head. I've memorized everything. You burn all my books, it doesn't matter. It's like in this day and age, someone saying to you, I'll delete all your files. You say, please don't touch my computer. And he said, burn what you want. It's all in my head. This was what a sharp memory he had. But some of the narrations, they say that when he became towards his youth, he was not very inclined. He became a bit not lazy, but he had some bad friends, and then some of the narrations say also he started drinking and was having a lavish life. Once he was trying to blow a flute, and while he was trying to blow the flute, he heard a sound, and that was a verse of the Qur'an which said, أَلَمْ يَأْنِنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Hasn't time come for those who believe in Allah that their hearts start fearing Allah? Hasn't time come for you to change? And Abdullah bin Mubarak, he said, Bala, most definitely. He broke the flute at that time straight away, and he changed his life. From that time he started pursuing knowledge. He started seeking the deen, started going in the company of the scholars, and he started learning more and more about his deen. And slowly we'll see how he became one of the great scholars. So we can see, he was on a wrong turning, but when a wake-up call came to him, he woke up, he turned, he changed, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his tawbah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated him. That today, sitting here, we are talking about Abdullah bin Mubarak. Sufyan bin Uyayna, he said, to understand how high they were regarding Abdullah bin Mubarak, he says that I looked at the Sahaba and I looked at Abdullah bin Mubarak. I looked at the Sahaba and I looked at Abdullah bin Mubarak. But I didn't see a virtue for them over him, except that they were companions and that they had participated in battles. Other than that, they were equal in virtue. This is a very great statement by a great person. Sufyan bin Uyayna was a very, very great scholar as well. Ismail bin Ayyash, who was a great scholar of Sham, he said, again listen to the words, he says, there is none like Abdullah bin Mubarak on the face of this earth. There is none like Abdullah bin Mubarak on the face of this earth. Who is saying this? Ismail bin Ayyash. He is the greatest scholar of Sham, of that present time. And he's saying there's no one greater than Abdullah bin Mubarak on the face of this earth. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, he said that during the time of Abdullah bin Mubarak, there was no one who sought knowledge more than him. He traveled to Yemen, Egypt, Syria, Basra, Kufa. He traveled everywhere seeking knowledge. Abu Nu'aym, he said, when he was describing Abdullah bin Mubarak, he said, the master of Qur'an, meaning the expert in the Qur'an. and the master and the expert in Hajj and Jihad. His actions were Mubarak and his speech was Mubarak. قَوْلُهُ مُبَارَكٌ وَفِعْلُهُ Mubarak. That his actions were blessed and his speech was also blessed. Yahya bin Ma'in, when he was describing him, he said that he was a cup overflowing with trustworthiness. He had the quality of, amana. A scholar of hadith, and he narrated a hadith from 21,000 books. He narrated a hadith from 21,000 books. And then there's many other scholars. I don't want to go through the whole list. They were describing Abdullah bin Mubarak. When he became a student of knowledge, he worked hard. He was not lazy. He worked extremely, extremely hard. And he traveled far to seek knowledge. Ibn Abi Hatim's father said that Ibn Mubarak traveled quarter of the earth in search of hadith. He traveled quarter of the earth in search of hadith. He traveled to Yemen, Egypt, Sham, Basra, all these places he traveled. Imam Dhahabi, when he was describing Abdullah bin Mubarak, he said he was a safar, the one who extensively used to travel. And he never used to travel, let me just go here and there for holiday. He was going to seek knowledge. He was going to learn the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, when he was describing Abdullah bin Mubarak, he said, there was no one at the time of Ibn Mubarak who sought knowledge more than him. And once he traveled 1,000 kilometers just to verify a statement of Hassan Basri. He heard a statement of Hassan Basri, then he traveled 1,000 kilometers to just verify this statement. And when he got there, he asked that person. The person said, yes, this is the statement. And he told him, come sit down. He said, I traveled all this way just to verify this one statement. I've heard it, I'm going back. If that was the effort he put in verifying people's statements, how much more effort do you think he put when he wanted to verify the hadith of Rasulullah? And now you can understand a bit how he got that title of not Hujjah, but Amirul Mu'mineen fil Hadith. That Amirul Mu'mineen fil Hadith. His companions and his friends, they complained once to him. They made a complaint. And they said, Abdullah bin Mubarak, you travel too much. How long are you going to keep traveling? How long are you going to keep going and going and going? And his answer was, until death. Until death, I will keep traveling. Because to him, the most important thing was to learn the hadith of Rasulullah. Abdullah bin Mubarak had a lot of talent also in writing. He was a master in writing, and whenever he used to listen to things, he used to write them. And he had many, many books. And once Abdullah bin Mubarak, obviously he had many teachers. He used to go around the world. Wherever he used to go and seek the ulama and learn from them. He said, I took knowledge from 4,000 scholars. And I narrated from 1,000 scholars. And whenever he used to narrate the hadith to others, he used to narrate them from his books. He used to write everything and he used to narrate it. Although he had a good memory, he used to say to people that when I narrate from the book, there's less chance of making mistakes. And he had a lot of respect for his teachers. He held his teachers with high respect. And at the same time, he used to spend a lot of time at home alone. So the people said to him once, Abdullah bin Mubarak, after Salah, you don't sit with us, you go home straight away. Must be boring at home. He says, me get bored. How can I get bored when it's me and the hadith of Rasulullah? How can I get bored when my life evolves around learning the hadith of Rasulullah? It's me and the companions, it's me and the Rasulullah. Meaning he used to live the hadith. He used to have such a strong connection with them. And while he was still a student, he became very famous. And obviously there was great scholars around. And he became famous himself. He's still a student, he became famous. Once he went to another great scholar who was Hammad bin Zayd. And he went to his study circle to learn. When he came into the gathering, Hammad called him forward and said to him, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Khurasan." And he said, "Do you know Abdullah bin Mubarak? How is he?" So Abdullah bin Mubarak said, "It's me, I'm standing in front of you." That this great scholar is asking Abdullah bin Mubarak, he's still studying, but wherever he goes, not only one, there's many incidents. He went other places and they're asking, "Tell us about Abdullah bin Mubarak." And he says, "It's me." And he became so famous. He became so famous that people, teachers who were great scholars were waiting that when will Abdullah bin Mubarak come into our circles. Once all his friends, they got together and they started making a list of, let's put the list qualities of Abdullah bin Mubarak, the good qualities. Today if someone says, right, let's write our friend's qualities, it'll be, no, he doesn't give the book backs and he doesn't do this and he's not trustworthy and don't trust him. Abdullah bin Mubarak, when they started describing him, they said, excellent in knowledge, excellent in fiqh, excellent in literature, excellent in grammar, excellent in Arabic language, very brave, excellent and eloquent poet, very pious, excellent when it comes to night prayer, excellent when it comes to worship, excellent when it comes to pilgrim. 1 year he used to go for Hajj, 1 year he used to go for jihad. 1 year he used to go for Hajj, 1 year he used to go for jihad. Some of the ulama, they say that 4 months he used to go for jihad, 4 months he used to spend in seeking knowledge, and then he used to go for Hajj. When it comes to battles, he's excellent. And another great quality they all used to describe about him, that he gets along with everyone. He gets along with everyone. Everyone didn't mind being around him. So this was while he was a student. At the same time, Abdullah bin Mubarak, he was a merchant. He was a merchant and he was an excellent merchant. He learned the business skills because his father was a merchant. And Imam Abu Hanifa, one of his greatest teachers, Imam Abu Hanifa, was a merchant. He learned the skill from them. And the main reason he became a merchant is, although he wanted to learn knowledge, he was really into learning knowledge. At the same time, he wanted to be self-sufficient. He didn't want to wait for people to give him handouts or to beg to people. He wanted to be self-sufficient, and because of that he excelled in his business. And although he was a merchant, he was a student of knowledge. At the same time, he was very, very generous. Every year he used to spend 100,000 dirhams on the poor. 100,000 dirhams every year he used to spend on the poor. And he used to sponsor the students. The students of knowledge, he used to sponsor them. Anyway, he found out there's a student who's seeking knowledge, who's poor, he used to go and sponsor them. He used to sponsor the hajis. He used to spend on the hujjaj, on the hajis. And once he took a group of people, said, "Oh Abdullah, we want to go on Hajj with you." So while they were going on, before they went on Hajj, he said, "All of you put all your money in one pot and we'll spend it all together." He took everything, he put everyone's money in there, he tied it, he sealed it, and throughout the journey, he spent on them. He spent on them. When he got to Hajj, he spent on them. When they went to Medina, he spent on them. And when they were returning from Medina, he told them, "Whatever you want to buy for your relatives, buy." He paid for all that. He came back home, he decorated their houses. And then when they got home, all that money which they put in that little pot, he returned everyone's money. He spent all that money taking care of the hujjaj, of the hajis. He had so much wealth Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him that he had to appoint a wakil, a trustee, to discharge his wealth. A trustee was made in charge, full-time person, working just to discharge his wealth. Anyone would go to Abdullah bin Mubarak, the poor people used to go to him, "Abdullah, we need this much money." He'd write it down, "Go to my trustee, he'll pay you." Go to him, he'll pay you. Once, a man came to Abdullah bin Mubarak and he said, "I've got a debt, give me some, help me." So Abdullah bin Mubarak, he wrote to the trustee that give him 7,000 dirhams. So when he went to the trustee, he read it and he said, "How much do you really need?" He said, "I need 700. He said, "Oh, okay." So he wrote back to Abdullah bin Mubarak, "Abdullah, you've made a mistake. This person only needs 700. You've added another zero. You don't need to do that. And by the way,